Now, I want to go back to our New York studio for a second guest, Jose Lasalle, who is known as a cop watcher. He patrols the streets at night, filming cops when they interact with the public. His videos have frequently gone viral. Jose, thank you so much for being with us today. Such a time of turmoil for the police around America. For people that don't know who you are or what your group does, can you briefly explain to us what you do and why you do it?
Well, basically what me and my brothers and sisters in the group do is we spend majority of our time in the street documenting encounters between police and civilians, and we document them and we record them. We stay there to make sure from the beginning to the end of the encounter, and then we approach the individual that will stop. We will ask them questions. We would give them information about knowing their rights, and we will also let them know that if there are any problems they find themselves in the near future or see somebody else in, they could call us because we have somebody stationed basically in all 5 boroughs, so we could send somebody out there to make sure they document and make sure that police sees our presence and know that there is someone there that's going to document what they their encounter with the civilian from the beginning to the end.
How big is your group?
Well, we have a pretty, my group keeps growing lately for so much that's been happening. So right now we're up in the 40s, and I see it continuously growing every single day because people want to get involved. And it's not just my group, but there is many other Copwatch groups out there that's also doing amazing work and making sure that we document civilian police encounters.
Now I got to ask, are you guys a strictly volunteer group, or is there any money being exchanged for this, or how are you guys supporting this cause?
Well, we get a lot of donations, and that's what keeps us going, because I guess people out there understand what we're doing, they respect what we're doing, and they support what we're doing, so they support us financially, and we use that money to be able to get the things that we need: more cameras, be able to put more information together, more copies to be able to hand out to people out there in the community. So, you know, the community and the people outside of this group helps a lot.
That is very cool. Now, have your videos or constant monitoring of the NYPD, have you seen any immediate impact within the community?
Oh yeah, I mean, when police sees us out there in our uniform, it's like they straighten it up. Because not only do we have these videos that we record, we actually go into their community meetings every month and we present these evidence that we see of police and the way they talk and treat people in the community, how they curse at them, how aggressive they are with their approach towards people in the community. So we take this to the commanding officers, and we also send a lot of these videos. We send them commissioner, we send them to the mayor, we send them to the NYPD Inspector General now, the CCRB. We try to distribute these videos all over the place so they could see what we see taking place in these communities when police officers and civilians have an encounter.
Now, what inspired you to get this off the ground?
Well, I mean, many have heard about my stepson Alvin when he was stopped in 2011, that he was called a mud. They told him they was going to break his arm, and that kind of gave me the push that I needed to say, you know what, I have to get in the street and do something. So that's what pushed me to be able to put a group of brothers and sisters together who are volunteering their time to come out there and putting their lives on the line. Because when you're going against police officer, you're putting your life on the line, and they're going out there and helping, you know, saying, bring this understanding of what is taking place in these communities of colors and the aggressiveness that these police officers implement into these communities that they come to serve and protect.
I see. So you had a personal reason behind this. Now, I want to get your take on the comparison and the contrast with the shooting in St. Louis last night as compared to the Mike Brown case. Race doesn't appear to be an issue with this case, does it?
Well, maybe right now people don't see it as an issue, but when we look deeper into it, in the police force, we have an officer who failed to wear his body camera. We have an officer who also failed to put on his dashboard camera. We talk about a 6-year veteran. So why did he fail to do that? And we have a video which they are showing, which actually I don't see a gun being displayed. And we're talking about that they they saying that there was a gun removed from this young man, a 9mm, which had 1 in the chamber and 5 on the clip. You telling me that he had the first draw on police and he did not shoot? That sounds real suspicious. And these are the type of things that we have to look into, because somewhere along the line, the story is not being. That's when people become confused and people start making their wrong judgment of what's going on. So down the road, we will begin to get the truth about what really took place.
Definitely, still very early on this case. Now, overall, how much do you feel, how much of a role do you feel that race plays in how police overall handle certain situations, in your opinion?
Listen, race has a it plays a big role in it. When you stop and frisk, hundreds of thousands of people, and the majority of them was people of color, when now with the broken window policing that Bill Bryant has brought back into policing, we're talking about the majority of people being targeted are people of colors. We're talking about the majority of people being murdered and killed by NYPD are people of color. When you look into that, you got to start saying to yourself, it has something to do with race. I know people trying to say race got nothing to do with it, but I'm sorry to say race has a lot to do with it. To be honest, race has more to do with why these young men are being killed and why these young men are being criminalized and why the prison industrial complex has 2.4 million people, being 85% to 90% of them being people of color. We have to look at that and say race has a big issue. Has a lot to do with it.
Jose, thank you so much. Christmas Eve. Thanks for chiming